All right. So Chris from Coridian here. I'm interviewing the lads from Voodoo Blue.
Hello.
So we got Rory, Daniel, and
Jackson.
Jackson. Wait, and you're missing a guy today as well. Who's overseas?
Yeah, I'm missing Ollie.
He's currently in the US, so yeah, time zone's a bit of an issue. So
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's sweet. He gets to travel. Nice. Yeah, so you guys are about to drop an album, and it's your first. Is it your first full length, or is it your second full length?
It's second full length, but first one with all of the guys that we have here at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys have had a few changes since you started. So this is like the first album with the whole new lineup.
Yeah.
But the second as a band.
Yeah, that's right. This is the whole unit this time around. It was pretty similar for the first album lineup, but now we're going solid with everybody that we have here now, and couldn't be happier personally.
Awesome. Now I was reading you guys played up in Auckland last. I was reading a review, and so you guys are a 4-piece obviously, and Rory used to play bass in Lucifer, and you're kind of doing guitar and lead vocals now instead?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, when we were playing in Lucifer, I think we played one of the last shows at Caroline together, if I remember correctly, before that venue closed down. Yeah. But no, I think it's going good. I mean, I was always sort of playing on guitar to begin with. I think it was just time for me to sort of come back to playing guitar on the actual tracks and everything. But I hope you guys are happy with that decision as well.
I mean, you were writing on guitar anyway, so it kind of makes sense for you to just play the guitar.
Yeah. Ollie is great on the bass. He's holding it down better than I ever could.
Yeah, so you guys are you guys now like a fairly like collaborative band in terms of like writing, or is it like kind of like Rory, do you take the lead and the other guys jump in with ideas, or is this album and the way you guys have been going the last year, is that kind of like full band?
I mean, I think it's definitely become much more of a collaborative project ever since the first album and whatnot. I
feel like the heart of the song and like the lyrics obviously come from Rory. And we just kind of work to kind of support that.
So you guys, when did you kind of start getting the songs together and recording the album?
It was pretty much straight away after, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much like, I think it was one, you started, I think you bring in like a couple of songs like pretty early on, but it's been chipping away over the last like 2 years, just gradually increasing the number of songs we've been doing, new songs we've been doing. And then eventually we just, I think it was around, we started recording it in January. That's when we finally got access to the studio and started just, we had a big 2-week period. We just went ham on it. We busted it out in 2 weeks. Less than that. I think the big thing with this album in particular is we had a track listing in mind before going into it, and then we knew the order that we wanted to do it in. And then we ended up recording the entire album front to back and pretty much the track listing that you hear on the album, with like a couple of exceptions on the album.
So you guys like literally went in the studio and knew exactly what you wanted to do, and you smashed it out for a whole recording in 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Greg guided us in places with some of the tracks.
We worked through some pre-production with Greg so that we were ready to do that. But the studio was as efficient as possible.
Cool.
It was sort of his decision to actually record them in the album sort of track listing order, which I think that he hadn't actually done before, because it's more of just like what the people are vibing with during the day and whatnot. But if I do remember correctly, I think it was maybe him who said that we wanted to do it in the order of the album, or maybe we suggest, I don't know, it came up somewhere along the way when talking in pre-prod.
I think it was Greg who suggested it, and looking back on it, but like it was great going through it, because it means when we get to like Continuous Stimulus, the final track on the album, it just meant that it was just like this big, like, really cathartic release of just all this energy, and it was just so great to finally finish that track.
I mean, by the end of the album, you want to have a bit of a mental breakdown, and that's pretty much continuous. Just like stringing a whole bunch of notes together, making it sound like, you know, putting a whole bunch of random notes together in a random sequence and making it sound just, I don't know.
That is in fact music.
Exactly.
So you're basically saying that, would you say that maybe the album is building to that final climactic song in some ways?
Yeah.
I'd say
it's
so.
Kind of like a credit roll.
Yeah.
It's got the emotional peak being kind of the blessed ghost older, and then by the end of that song, you just want to let it all out.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it's almost kind of like an epilogue or a coda at the end of all of it.
Or you watch a movie, and then the credits roll, and you're standing up and you're screaming at all your friends about
pretty
how
much
good the movie was.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool to hear. So sorry.
If the Blessed Ghost Part 1, the first track on the album, was like kind of like the credits, the intro credits, continuous is basically kind of like, I don't know,
the outro credits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Cool. So it's like that Marvel secret scene at the end.
I guess so.
Well, I guess in that regard.
Now, so I was going to say, so you guys are working with Greg Haver, or you've worked with Greg Haver, which is pretty incredible, considering how many huge bands internationally and nationally he's produced and recorded with, and being a musician himself. So that must be slightly scary in a way, especially for the drummer. I mean, when you work with a producer, like obviously you guys have your own vision in place going in, and you know you knew what you wanted your album to sound like, you did your pre-production and all that. But when you work with him, what's his producer level like? Is he like fully involved from day one to the end? Does he like have as much say as say one of you guys does, or how do you kind of work with that kind of producer role?
He was really good, because I mean when he needed to step in and say something, he would just take the leading role if something definitely didn't sound right to him or whatever. But if he was a bit like, I don't know, if we were on a roll with something, he would just leave us alone. Like he would just let us do our own thing if need be. He was very good at stepping in at like the right moments and saying, hey guys, I don't think this is working, or this is working really well, we should try and go ahead and go with this. Or he would just fucking leave us to it.
He ended up Ollie and Rory were recording all their parts in the control booth, and then he just let me just go ham up in the big room that we're recording in. And so I mean, I was there with all the amps, just allowing the guitars just to feed back and everything like that. So like
pretty much just hit record.
Yeah, exactly. Just do another take of that and whatnot.
Nice. So you kind of you got to kind of have that creative space to yourself and just let loose.
Yeah. Daniel, for the most part on the album, was recording in a pitch black orchestral sized room.
The darker the better. Just, mostly kind of the only light source of being the light from the the control booth and the light from my pedals. So.
Oh wow, yeah, well, that's pretty cool. And did you guys come up to Auckland, or did he go down to Wellington?
He came down to Wellington.
Yeah.
We recorded at Massey University in the main studio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Rad.
The real big one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess everyone probably wants to know what your guys' favorite song or songs are on the album. What are we thinking is gonna blow everyone's socks off?
All right, let's do it.
I'm not sure how everyone's gonna. Sorry, you want to go first, Rory?
Oh no! I was just saying, let's start with you, Daniel.
All right. I think not everyone's gonna. I'm not sure how everyone would feel about it, but Riddle's probably my favorite, just because it's the wildest. It's probably the weirdest song we've ever done. Honestly, and it's just. I just love the direction that Greg and Scott really pushed it in. It just
I love Riddle.
It's just chaotic. It's a chaotic wall of noise, and if you're into all that sort of stuff, then I hope you dig it. Then.
Cool. So Ritalin, yep. We all like Ritalin.
Indeed, we do.
Mine switches between the between Pursuit and Four Asterisk. I like the way that those songs build over time, and yeah, it's kind of the ones that Greg left alone the most, and just kind of, because normally he likes to shorten the songs and trim the fat and stuff, but these ones were just real like slow burners, and I just like that kind of song.
Yeah.
His response to the fucking weirder ones was always, well, it's not going on ZM, is it? So let's leave it alone.
Made up his own radio station.
George
It's
FM.
like, it's not for George FM.
Yeah, very much. Every time.
Yeah. I'd probably have to go with Four Asterisk as well. I mean, I only put that above Pursuit because I got to. It feels very My Chemical Romance-ish to me, at least, and that's a big influence for myself.
That's probably my favorite now.
Yeah.
It was
that's
to go in one take.
Yeah.
His Pursuit was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was again one of the earliest ones we did, so it was right straight into it.
Yeah.
That's some pretty positive vibes if there's some My Chem vibe in there, you know. So
totally.
People will be digging that. I actually saw another review that you guys got the other day from Kill the Stereo. Is it Kill the Stereo?
Kill Your Stereo. Yeah, that's the one.
Kill Your Stereo.
Yep.
So I do follow generally on socials. So I was very, very stoked to see some Kiwi bands on that page. And shit, the bands they kind of throw into your corner, you know, like saying the Killers, Kings of Leon, Turnstile, and some massive bands anyway, saying chuck them all in a room and you might have a close vibe for you guys. That's pretty damn impressive if you ask me, to be kind of thrown in there with those kind of bands.
We can never complain.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen, you know, there's the references to The Cure and that kind of, I guess that 80s post-punk vibe as well. So yeah, it's definitely, sounds like you guys have definitely got an eclectic sound, and it's drawing people in, so that's very cool to hear.
I guess well, we're all kind of victims of like the generation where we have access to all, like, you know, pretty much all music that ever existed ever, and it's just at a touch of our fingertips. So it's just like we just can't help but just absorb all of this like external stuff, whether it be, you know, post-rock bands from like the early 2000s, or it be just post-hardcore bands from the from that thing, well, from the 90s as well, and also just like, you know, I've been listening to a lot of The Doors recently as well, a lot of Mars Volta as well, which has become a recurring joke in the band. Yeah, so,
well, they've just come back with a new single on a tour, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
I really hope they come here.
Yeah, I'd love to see them live, honestly.
I'm going to show my age and say I saw them in 06. And
nice.
It was, they actually just played every song without a gap, so it was just like one giant song.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Which that level of music for like an hour and a half straight was mind blowing.
Yep.
Sanity. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Any when you were recording, writing, is there any, you know, what's the biggest challenge? Any fights? Anyone getting fist fights?
Oh. No, I can't say. There was I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, did we? I don't even know. Do you guys remember? Maybe I blacked it out from my mind.
I think there were a couple of moments where I was just not happy with, like, I was just kind of like, I think there were a couple of moments where I was personally just not like kind of like vibing with the material as much, and like he's kind of like, I mean, well, we're editing this out, right? I'm just trying to think how to say it. But,
I think the biggest arguments were with ourselves, if anything.
Yeah. I think it was all of us just being overly self-critical of our abilities. I think that was the main thing that really kind of just got. It was never with each other, because we're just like, you know, it was never really with each other. It was all about like our own abilities and just kept being like looking back at ourselves. And also, but also you got to realize that, you know, it's all about the track at the end of the day. Just being focused on your performance is not really helpful. And it's kind of like you got to be. It's all about kind of. I mean, that's the thing. Greg was always pushing us to say, think about the track as a whole, and think about the track. And I think after this, I am much more comfortable like just thinking about the track and thinking about, okay, that's cool. But how does it serve? Like, you know, redirecting it to being less about like, you know, showcasing our abilities as musicians and being more about like, does it servicing the song and above all else, that's really the important thing is the actual song itself as opposed to you know, performance abilities and whatnot.
I think for me is like pre-production was probably the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Because before, you know, the months leading into the studio, you start to get this kind of anxiety in the back of your head about is my part strong enough? Is the track strong enough? Yeah, what's Greg gonna think of this?
Yeah, exactly.
Just preparing yourself to get absolutely grilled.
Yeah, exactly. Which I was surprised by again because I was just chucked in the middle of the you know, chucked in the big room, left to my own devices and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting like just to be grilled for my guitar playing ability at all times, but like I was just like. It was, well, for me, it was very much just in the studio. I don't know how it was for everyone else. It was, well, yeah.
It was a great time.
It's just that real, like, musicians, man, we'll forever be insecure about our abilities, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Which is good.
It is. It pushes you forward, and sometimes in a good way, it pushes you forward to try and look at yourself and what you're doing, how you're practicing, how you're writing things. I mean, being too overly critical is usually a musician's downfall.
Yeah, it's a musician's trapping, but like I think one thing I kept like reminding myself whenever I have a gig I'm not happy with, I just got to remind myself that it's I think the important thing is to remind yourself that it is about what the audience thinks and what the audience like, you know, it's all about the being critical about your performance and being critical about or just anyone's individual performance is not really all that. It's still kind of being trapped inside your own head, and it's all about like you can think you did the worst job, the worst performance like you've ever done, but it doesn't matter if like, you know, if the audience loves it, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that's just being.
You can still take the critiques on board, but you just don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about moving forward and whatnot?
I mean, look at
yeah, pretty much.
I was gonna say, see, like, I'll just a couple more questions I want to ask you. Actually, I'm real curious to know what your guys' kind of strategy is in terms of releasing an album in in 2022, obviously releasing an album, but like releasing an album in 2022. I guess you know, because obviously making an album for a band in general is just like a milestone. It's huge. We all want to make a full-length album. But like obviously at the same time, the way we consume music, a lot of people just release singles or an EP or whatever. Was it pretty important for you guys to be like, nah, we're gonna have an album? You know, well, obviously drop singles on the way, but like this album is here for a reason.
I think it's just, I mean, especially for the past two projects that we've worked on, it's just because there's been like a solid concept in place that we wanted to sort of tell. And even though, like, you know, in this day and age, it is probably better just to drop singles because that's, you know, people don't usually digest a full-length LP, even though pretty much all of us in the band do, but like a lot of just normal listeners don't really do that. But I don't know, just because of what we sort of wanted to say with our music, it felt right to do this, to actually put out an album as opposed to something a bit shorter. And I mean, we have things in the pipeline that we'll do that maybe don't have overarching themes or concepts or anything like that we'll probably put into a smaller project. but yeah, I think that's sort of why it ended up the way that it has.
No, that is real interesting because I actually talk about that with a lot of people, and it's kind of cool, like knowing that. Obviously, you guys are musicians, but you guys are younger. You're a younger generation, so it's cool that you do hear that sad thing of like people just like, yeah, they just listen to like 1 or 2 songs, but like the fact that people are absorbing full albums and getting that experience from it, because I don't think some people just don't really seem to understand that an album's created in a certain way. There's a flow and there's a structure and a story that can arc out throughout the entire album. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I mean, it's like, I don't know, a single is a bit like a blurb of a book, which is, it's fine to read, get an idea of what it actually is, but then, I don't know, something about reading the whole entire thing is a completely different experience.
Yeah. 2 more questions. One not related to your album or tour.
All good.
Being in Wellington, then are you guys finding your scene? Let's just say the scene in Wellington for now. Is that growing? Is it bubbling? Is it worse? Is it better?
Even with the pandemic and everything that's happened, the Wellington scene for me, at least personally, I could be wrong, has stayed exactly the same. I don't think we've been affected by anything. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I feel like we've stayed exactly the same as we did before.
Yeah.
Things never change around here.
That's good to hear. Okay, so yeah, just final one. Obviously you guys have got a tour coming up, and it's basically an Australasian tour, isn't it? It's like legit.
Yes. Yeah.
2 countries.
Pretty scary.
It's more than it is. Well, exciting.
Yeah, that definitely exciting, but a lot of prep work. Way more admin than just going to Aussie to go on holiday.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think people actually realize how much admin is involved in tours and albums and everything in between. And you guys you're playing with a band over there that's Aussie, and you're bringing them back here as well, which is cool.
Indeed.
Good way to kind of, feed each other's fan bases.
Absolutely, and I don't know. It's going to be a wild experience for sure. I mean, I don't know whether wild's necessarily like how that's going to pan out, but being able to bring a band back here for them to experience what's going on over here, I think that we need to sort of connect more with the people that are doing things over in Australia. I mean, again, it's a lot of admin either way to be able to get a band over there, but I don't know, I'd love to see more New Zealand and Australian bands doing this sort of thing, just so that we can sort of get some, I don't know, some promotion between both countries.
Sure. No, it's a cool idea. And you guys are obviously doing some New Zealand shows, but are you planning on doing more in New Zealand this year, or is that next year?
Our plans.
Or am I not allowed to ask?
Oh, no. You definitely are. It's whether we have the hindsight to answer it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how much we've honestly planned at this point. I mean, I would say that it's probably going to mainly be New Zealand, unless some things come up, which I'm sure we'll just have to wait and see how the album does and how everything goes, and
Sure.
We'll aim for the stars from there.
Yeah, for sure. And so album's out this month?
Yes. In oh my god, it's less than 2 weeks. That is scary. That is really scary. But yes, yeah.
Obviously very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Yeah. It's going to be great to actually get this thing out there. Like, after waiting for months to actually get into the studio to record them, then recording them, then waiting on mixes, waiting on masters, seeing, doing the singles and whatnot. It's just going to be such a relief to get it out there, I think.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. It's going to be exciting to grab the to be able to also get a physical copy of it as well, and actually have like a physical record as well. Because I mean, I know me and Rory are like massively crazy into collecting like records and oldies as well. So we love just like we still are like tied to the physical media generation. I'm still collecting Blu-rays for some reason now, and I just love collecting. I just love like.
You've never seen a man with a bigger DVD collection in 2022. I swear to God.
But it's nice to actually physically own, like, actually have something that is yours. Because it just, as it stands, like with streaming, I mean, it's great having access to everything, but also you're paying for access for something, and it's just nice to have, like, a record that's yours, and particularly if you've just, like, within a record, like records in particular, they stick with you, and like it becomes, over time, it becomes your special record.
Can't be taken away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and especially vinyl.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
vinyl
It doesn't disappear, and it doesn't get taken down for some reason, and yeah.
There's something beautiful about owning the physical copy with the artwork and the liner notes. And
getting all the little features and bonuses. It's cool.
Yeah, and let they go with the full 9 yards of the whole packaging and everything like that, and just like, it's like, there's a difference between, a piece of plastic that has been, shipped up by like some, like, it's been shipped up in some warehouse. There's a difference between that and, like, an album, and or a, like, something that has a lot of care and love and put into it and whatnot.
No, it's very cool. So you guys will obviously have vinyl available, merch. That's really cool. Well, thanks for letting me interview.
Oh, mate, thank you for doing it. It has been an absolute pleasure.
I think it's kind of cool how you guys are doing this, actually. It's a cool little marketing thing, I think.
And it's been a wild ride. The campaign is almost over, but we put a lot of time and effort into it. So thank you again, man, for doing this with us. We'll be there to catch your show when you come down this way.
Sounds good. And maybe we can finally tee up a date up here with you guys.
Surely, let's do it. I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sweet. Well, we'll promote you guys' album and stuff on our socials when it comes out.
Likewise.
And
fuck yeah.
All right, well, talk soon, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much again, man.
All good. Good luck with the release.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. See you, boys.
Bye.